It's Baby and Mary, we know you have been waiting, so here's another podcast about movies. Burn after watching.
Welcome everybody to the Burn After Watching podcast.
Hello.
I'm Borderland,
I'm Mary.
and today we are talking about American fiction. We are now in full award mode, where we are trying to watch all the films that we believe have a chance at making it into the best film category, so we can talk about the Oscar a little bit better. American fiction is one of the big ones we haven't seen yet.
And we want to see Zone of Interest as well.
Yes, the Zone of Interest.
Can't wait.
Before we talk about American fiction, we will talk about everything we watched in the last month, because our last episode was Best Movie of 2023, and we didn't do a watch list, so we have a lot to catch up. And right before that, subscribe, like, comment, find us on Spotify Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, obviously. Hello to YouTube viewers. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's get into it. We are going back almost the end of December at this point. One of the films we watched back then is the Ridley Scott 1991 Thelma and Louise.
What a great movie.
This is actually my first watch. You've seen it before.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times, and I love that movie. And it's weird to think it's Ridley Scott that directed that movie, because to me it's such a feminist and avant-garde movie, and I love Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis in that movie. It's great. Did you love it?
I think you just named the best part for me. I do. To me, it feels like a Ridley Scott film, because I think technically,
Yes.
for a 1990 movie, it still looked great.
Yeah.
It's really well shot.
Aged super well.
Too long for me.
Oh, yeah?
Too long. Like the middle part, and especially the Brad Pitt. Is it Brad? Yeah, the Brad Pitt kind
he's
of
young.
like
He's so young.
this whole section of the film. Almost didn't care. Like I feel like, okay, let's move on. It felt a little bit okay with Dragon. It's almost like it reminded me of Napoleon, where like
Whoa.
on the
You can't say that.
on the technical side, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Acting wise, like you said, both actress very well. I love the story.
Yes.
I love the ending. The last 15 minutes are awesome.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like I didn't love it as much as I thought. Like I know it's supposed to be like a huge classic, and I was really excited to check it out. I didn't love it. I don't think I need to rewatch it. I'm glad I've seen it, but that's pretty much it.
I understand. There are a few parts that are longer, and
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But I think overall, since it's from 1991 and the message is trying to bring, as I said, Susan Sarandon to me and Gina Davis in that movie.
They're great.
They are stunning. They're great. They're amazing. And I kind of like the part with Brad Pitt, because he's necessary to the story. And it also shows how much Gina Davis has no experience, is very naive. And
Yeah, she's very naive. It's like, okay, it just felt so predictable. Okay, like, of course he's going to steal the money, and of course she's not going to see it coming, but like, come on. And also the
Yes.
husband characters. I know he's supposed to be silly,
Yes.
but I feel like the clash of like, it's so serious when you're with the two girl, and like, it's very, like, I was not expecting the first few scene where like something
yes.
actually happened to one of the girl. I was not
almost
expecting
happened.
like I was not expecting it to go that far.
Yeah.
But also you have a character that is basically a cartoon character. He's so silly. I feel like the tone was kind of all over the place.
Well, to me, you see, it was kind of trying to address something really important.
Yeah.
Because both of them are in an abusive relationship. So maybe, because remember, it's 1991, right? So it was kind of audacious to make that kind of movie. So for the husband to be more comical, maybe it was easier to address the question. Also, he's the guy who plays in Happy Gilmore. So I kept thinking of him. But I don't know if Happy Gilmore is after. I think it's after Thelma and Louise. Anyways, I would definitely save it. And to me, it's a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay, I mean, it's a 3.
You seem surprised.
Oh, we normally use 5-star.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. So I guess it would be a 3.75.
Well, yeah, 3.5 or 4.
Look, she's complicating things today.
I think I'm gonna have to burn it. I think I'm gonna.
Whoa!
I think I'm gonna burn it.
Really?
It's a 3 out of 5 for me.
I can't believe you're burning
And
this.
except the end that
I will
really
give you 5 seconds to review your opinion.
Except the end, which I really liked. And I know I'm not, I'm the unpopular opinion here. I think most people do like it, and I'm glad. I think it's great. It's a good film. It's just maybe not for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's,
Sorry.
it's maybe just not for me.
Okay.
Didn't love it. I don't need to rewatch it. Maybe I need to rewatch it too. Like maybe I'm going to catch something I didn't get. The next one we watch is 2013, Ida by Pawlowski. Something like that.
Yeah. Very unique.
Polish filmmaker.
Very unique, very different movie, all in black and white.
Yeah. Gorgeous. The cinematography is gorgeous.
The story is quite simple but important.
And it's very it's very loose in terms of like the narrative. Like it's not a big story. It's very quiet, and they don't tell you much. So there's a lot of stuff left for interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the visual is this whole film. Like I love the way it looks.
Maybe we could just say what it's about a little bit.
Yeah. So
maybe we could just read the synopsis.
Yeah,
or
sure.
Just so people get it, because I never heard of that movie before.
Yeah, and so we actually wanted to watch this because it was a YouTuber that I watched. I don't remember his name. Was one of his favorite movie of all time. So I was like, okay, let's go. Let's watch this.
Give it
right?
a try.
So this is about a young nun, or about to be a nun, in 1960s Poland. She's about to take her vow, and she kind of uncovered that her family has some secret.
I liked that movie. It was different. It was quiet. It was very pretty, as you were going to say. Visually, the cinematography is stunning.
Doing a lot with very little.
I agree.
It's a very short film also, right?
An hour and a half, I think.
Yeah,
Not
82
even.
minutes.
Yeah.
And when I finished it, it felt like the type of movie that would grow on me and that would kind of stick with me, just because of the way it looked and because the story is so kind of open. A little bit maybe like...
May, December?
Yeah, exactly. But it didn't happen to me. I kind of forgot about the movie. And
me too.
Looking back, I'm like, maybe it's pretty and I would like to look at images and it would maybe be a great poster. But I don't know.
I feel that maybe one of the reasons why you feel that way, and I also feel that way, is I wasn't very attached to Ida, to her character, because she's very emotionless.
Yeah.
So compared to, let's say, Natalie Portman or Julianne Moore in May, December, it's very different. But I understand what you're saying. I'm glad I watched it, but I wouldn't necessarily rewatch it. Yeah,
there's something there that didn't... I was expecting it to like really stick with me and like come back to it, like just thinking about it and stuff. But and I give it a 3.5, and I would have probably saved it back when we first watched it. Thinking about it now, I would probably lower this to a 3 out of 5, and I would probably say that it's probably worth a watch if you're really into like visual, like something interesting visually, and you like to like find new film. I think watch it. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna tentatively save it.
I have to agree with you. I'll give it a 3 stars, and gosh, I think I'm going to burn it.
Yeah, it's tough, huh? It's on the line.
It's really tough because it's really different. And I've said this so many times before, but I'm willing to give points to directors who are trying something different and creative.
Yeah.
And it really felt like I was in the 60s. I really felt that.
Yeah.
And the black and white was a great choice. The aunt character was good. Give it a try. But I wouldn't rewatch it. So I'll burn it, but I'm glad I saw it. Gosh, I'm sorry.
Okay, next one. You Hurt My Feeling, 2023.
Yeah.
This is with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And to be honest, like I heard that it was just okay. It seems interesting. It's about a wife who's a writer and her husband is a psychologist. And basically she's writing a new book and he keep telling her that it's a good book. And one day she overhear him talk to one of his friends saying that the book is terrible. And then they just kind of deal with that.
And it's like the whole thing about when you're in a relationship and trying to support the other person. So is it a lie to encourage, like if I said your podcast is great, I'm in it. But you know, so it's not a bad premise. Like it's an interesting question to ask any kind of relationship.
It's a fun starting point.
It's cute, but it gets so cheesy, and
also it takes a long time to get started.
I agree.
Like this is not a long movie again. I think it's like 90 minutes. And I think it takes like 40 minutes to get to the point where she overhear him.
Yeah.
I think the best part of the film for me is the fact that the husband is a psychologist and he's a bad psychologist.
Yeah.
And he's like really bad. And like his client are just walking away saying like, fuck this guy. Like, it's just, that's funny.
And then he gets better when he actually is saying the truth to...
Yeah, he started kind of saying the truth, which is kind of remind me of that Apple TV show Shrinking, I think.
That was good.
That's really
like
good. That's funny.
That's so funny.
And I feel like there's so little good comedy recently. Like, it's like comedies are just not as good as they used to be. I feel like it was doing... Also, it looked like a TV movie, like a TV show.
It looked
a bit cheap. Yeah.
Gosh. And
not that funny.
I laughed a few times, like the earring that he buys her every year, and her with the crew neck or whatever, the sweater.
Yeah.
When it's their anniversary. But to be honest, I rolled my eyes so many times. So I was like, oh my god.
It's a 2 out of 5 for me. It's a burn.
Same.
Skip it.
Don't watch that.
All right, next one. Okay, we're going from the lowest to the highest, and I think we're gonna dip into the low again right after this. But the next one we watch, and it's funny. I think we were just like chilling one night, and I just put it on thinking that I wouldn't actually watch it.
Yeah, and
so
I just joined you.
Yeah, I just throw on Spotlight.
What a great movie. One
of my top 10 movie of all time for me. Yes. Favorite. I love it.
I never watched it. Well, this wasn't my first watch, but you made me discover this movie. I hadn't seen it before. And I love a great investigation movie. And this one is about abuse made by priests
in Boston in the 70s, I think.
Yeah. And it's based on a true story.
True story.
And I can't believe when you made me discover this movie, I can't believe I had never seen it.
Yeah. I feel like it actually won Best Movie at the Oscar that year.
Plenty deserved.
But well deserved.
Well deserved.
But that's true. Like it kind of went a little bit. I saw it in theater, but I didn't hear about it until like I just showed up and I thought it looked interesting, so I went to see it. But yeah, I don't feel like a lot of people have seen it. Mark Ruffalo has a speech in there when they finally get the proof. Mark Ruffalo is like, that's it, we have them. And Michael Keaton, we play kind of like the director of this team, is like, we're gonna have to wait. And Mark Ruffalo just lose it.
Oh yeah.
And that speech make me tear up every single time. I can't. It's just so powerful.
Great. And even is it Rachel McAdams who plays in this movie?
Yeah, she's
great as also in that movie.
Really good
movie.
And Stanley Tucci as the lawyer that is just like he's just so done with the world. I really like his character as well. I mean, like for me, it's a 5 out of 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you never give 5.
No. Like I don't like giving 5 out of 5 because it means this movie, like a 5 out of 5 film for me.
There's nothing that could be improved.
Yeah, I understand people disagree with that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like it means nothing could be better. And this is one of there's maybe like 5, even all the movie in my top 10 of all time are not all 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
So for me, it means like this is perfect. This is a film that has no flaws.
Because to me, 4.5 seems not enough.
No, I mean,
and 5 is too much, I think. So I'll go with a 4.75, but it's an amazing movie. Next up.
And going from the highest of the high to the lowest of the lows. Okay, so the next movie I watch is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Widely considered one of the worst film of 2023. I think most people consider it's the worst. I released a video on searching for the worst movie of 2023. So I kind of went back and looked at the lowest rated film, watched 3 of them, and just to be able to find the worst one. And this was one of the obvious one that I wanted to check out. And to be honest, it's not terrible. It's a bad horror movie, and it's not one of those that are that is like so good it's bad. So bad it's good. It's just bad. But it was a fun time to do it for the video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on the channel right now on YouTube.
Yeah, if you want to know if it's the worst movie, you need to watch the video.
And they're actually coming out with a second one.
I'm not going to watch it. I haven't seen it, and I will not watch it.
I think I'm going to go watch it. I'm going to watch it just for just for the fun of it. I think it's one of those things.
So much fun. It's great. The next movie we're going to talk about, Love. Yes. I don't know why, because it won everything at the 2023 Oscars.
It won everything everywhere.
All at once. And
it's the first time this joke is ever made.
Yes. And for some reason, you and I did not want to watch this movie.
To me, it looked
like a mess.
Silly.
Me too.
It looked silly.
And it's long.
It looked like a Marvel movie, and I don't like Marvel movies. So I was like, I'm not interested.
To me, it didn't look like a Marvel movie, but it looked like just a mess, a total mess. Anyways, so...
we finally did it.
We finally watched it.
We forced ourselves.
And okay.
So this is everything
really
everywhere all at once.
We agree.
That we're talking about.
Sorry, it's a mess.
What you were about to say?
I was about to say that we agree on this review of the movie.
Yes.
The first half, and it's really funny because we paused at the almost perfect time of the half of the movie, and I was like, oh gosh, this is a mess.
I'm not loving it.
Yeah. Exactly what I thought it would be.
Yes. Not
loving it. What's happening? Some of the decors looked kind of cheap and weird. And anyways, I was not loving it. You neither.
Yeah.
And then the movie ended and I was like, okay, I understand why everybody loves this movie so much.
Yeah.
You said, and I think that was well said, that everything that was put in the first part kind of made its sense in the second part.
Yeah, they planted a lot of ideas and little joke in the first one, but when you're watching it for the first time, it just feels like all those things they mention and they bring up and they pay attention to that have like no purpose. But in the second half, everything it come back and it hits so much harder because they spent the right amount of time establishing all those pieces across the first hour. But like you said, we paused 1 hour in and we were like, God, this is a lot. And this is exactly what I was expecting to be. And literally 5 minutes after restarting the film, everything came back. Everything started to make sense. Everything kind of came together in a very, very nice way.
And it's special because if you only take the movie for the story it's trying to tell, it's about a kind of a broken family. So it's a very straightforward, typical story, but told in such a creative way.
Yeah.
And the infinite possibilities of your life with different choices. And it's so touching. I kind of almost cried in the end.
Yeah, me too. Like I was really close.
I really love the end scene, the battle scene.
Yeah.
Where she kind of kills them with love.
Yeah. The ending really ties things together. And I think one thing, I really don't like when people say that, but no other director could have made this movie. It's one of those things where the Daniels, like the craft and the editing and the ideas and all the like the creative aspect of this film is out of control. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
You can really tell. And if you haven't seen Swiss Army Man, their previous film is also like this, but this is like Swiss Army Man level of like creativity and craziness, but times 100. It's a bit overwhelming. I don't think it's a perfect film. And I do think that the first hour could have been made better to carry you through kind of the second or third act, because it's a bit rough. I would say if you want to watch it and you don't like it in the first hour, just keep watching, because I think it's really one of those films where And also, this is one of those films that multiple rewatch would be like great. I think like you would catch on to more things now that you know what's happening at the end.
It's very stressful. It's very intense. I really enjoyed it, but I don't think I will be rewatching this movie a lot. It's very hyper for the type of movie that we usually it's very hyper for the type of movie that we usually love or go for.
Yeah.
But I understand. Like you, I understand why it won everything. Super creative, super different.
Yeah.
Like even my brain kind of is struggling to understand every twist and turn and choices, and it's amazing.
Your favorite part was The Rock.
The Rock. That was great.
That's a great little part. I mean, I think it's a great film, but it's not my type of film. So that's why, like, for me, it's a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, me too.
It's a save.
It's a 4 It's a 4. It's a 4 and it's a save. But to me, it's important for a movie to be rewatchable.
I would rewatch it at least once because I want to get now that I know everything, I want to see how does it feel. I think there's reward in rewatching this one. So maybe in a couple of years I'll rewatch it. I get why it's some people's favorite movie of all time. Like I get it.
Yeah.
But not for me.
But it's not our type.
Would it be in my top 5 last year? No, I don't think. I think Banshee is better. I think Tar is better. I think The Batman is better. Dune? No, Dune was 2021.
All right.
Next one. Finally.
Oh boy, oh boy,
Okay,
oh boy.
there's a few of those films that
Listen,
I need to harass my wife to get to watch. Because she doesn't want me to watch them without her, but she doesn't want to watch them.
That is not true. You can definitely watch without me. Listen, just the cover is like little banjo here.
Dungeon and Dragon.
Yes.
Listen, it's a good time. It's a good time. That's it. It's not a great film.
No.
But it's a good time.
It was fun. It was funny. I laughed.
Good time.
Good adventure.
Here's a question, love. If they do a second one, will you go watch it with me?
Yes.
There you go. Perfect. That's
great.
great.
It was fun. It was funny. It was a little bit cheesy.
But they made fun of themselves.
Yeah. And I liked
the main guy.
Michelle Rodriguez in that movie.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She was badass.
Her. Yeah, she was good.
That part when he played the guitar and his face started melting.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That was very Shrek.
That was good.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a save for me. It's not amazing.
You love knights and medieval stuff, so
yeah, but I'm not a fan of Dungeon and Dragon. I played like one weekend, one time when I was like 14. I remember the Jelly Cube, which is in this movie. It's cool.
It was good. I would give it a 3 out of 5, and
Me too.
I would save it because it's a good time.
Throw it on. Have a good time.
Have a good time.
Have fun. Speaking of having fun.
Speaking of movies that Alex hadn't watched, and I really wanted you to see this movie, and it's Nomadland with Frances McDormand. It's a 2020 movie. I remember seeing it with my brother in theater, and it was COVID, and I cried so much when I saw this movie, and I think it was because it's a lonely movie to me, and COVID was a very lonely period as well. Anyways, and you hadn't seen it yet.
No.
And so tell me, how do you feel about it?
Well, first of all, I think that watching this during COVID is probably the best time to watch this in a weird way, because I think it speaks to that time very well. And it came out in 2020, so it came out in the middle of it. So I would have been interested to watching it through that lens. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I really, really, really liked it. I think this is definitely my type of film. I love Frances McDormand in that. She's great. The direction is super subtle. I was getting a bit annoyed with like the number of like sunset and sunrises shot that it was like every 5 minutes, and it was really pretty, but it's like, okay.
But to me though, it was reinforcing this idea of the beauty of nature and like what you really need in life to be happy, and like the critic about the material and the fact that, you know, she's going to work for Amazon to get money, which is really funny. It makes you think a lot of the way we live and what it takes to be happy and different relationships. And it's a beautiful movie, beautiful visually as well. Frances McDormand is one of my favorite actresses of
She's
all
great.
time. She's so good. She played in so many great movies, and she's aging so well. And we're gonna talk about Macbeth a little later.
Oh, yeah,
she
yeah.
also plays in that movie. Anyways, I'm glad you saw it and you like it.
And that's her in Three Billboard outside
Yes.
of
And
Ebbing, Missouri.
also in Burn After Reading.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she played a
lot
lot
of
with
Coen
Cohen.
brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they discovered her.
Oh yeah.
She was in Blood Simple, their first movie,
Wow.
and it was her. I don't know if it was our first movie, but it was one of her very first movie. And since then, they've been working. Well, I think she's married to one of the Coen brother.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I love her.
she's great. But yeah, I think it's a big save. 4 out of 5 for me. This has a very like Asian film kind of feel.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like Shoplifter is
Yeah.
similar to that,
Monster.
where it's covering some heartbreaking subject, but it's very like
Completely.
quiet and
Yes.
and yeah.
Don't watch that if you're feeling a little depressed one night. But it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I love it. I would save it 4 out of 5.
Neato. All right.
Next up.
Next one.
Her.
Spike Jones. 2013.
I love
Joaquin?
I love him.
Adore.
I had seen this movie. I had never rewatched it since the release in 2013.
Me too. It's great. I
wouldn't say it's great.
I actually loved it.
Very interesting questions about AI. Very visionary because it's more than 10 years ago. So great on that aspect.
But see, I don't think it's about AI. I understand that it utilized technology to tell a story, but for me, it's just a love story. You have two entities. It doesn't matter that one is not a real person, that fall in love, fall out of love. And that's a really basic love story structure. Two people meeting, falling in love, and just separating and drifting away.
But to me, though, yes, it's a love story. But the interesting aspect to that movie is because Spike Jonze must have thought to himself, where is AI going to go in the future? Could it be possible that a human being would fall in love with a AI? And that's interesting to me because it's not just typical love story as
But I
we
think it
know
is.
them.
I understand what you mean, though.
Yeah.
Like,
But
it's like the oldest story. Like, it's the most basic love story
Yeah.
with the veil of technology
yeah.
pushed over it. And
It's
and
smart.
I like that you can ask question about the AI aspect, but like
Yeah.
for me, it's almost not interesting at all to like go into like, oh, like loving art, AI and all of this and people falling in love with their computer. Yes, that's interesting, but to me, like, it's almost like, who cares? Like, it's really just a beautiful love story between two entity. If you remove the technology aspect, everything still work. The movie still works.
It's true. Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. It's a really smart way to tell a story that's been told a million times
I agree with you. Yeah.
in a different way. And I
Yeah.
think that the visual language, the look, the music, everything comes together. I think Joaquin Phoenix,
Is
one of
great.
his best performance, I believe.
Whoa.
And Scarlett Johansson playing the voice of the robot. It's
Crazy because you never see her. You
yeah,
just hear
she was
her
actually
voice.
not
Not
eligible to be nominated because she's not
Really?
seen.
Huh.
That's weird, huh?
That's so weird. But at the same time, I feel that because even now we look at it and it's been 10 years and there's still something fascinating about
Yeah.
the way the story is built and told. So imagine 10 years ago.
I remember,
It's cool. Like, it's different.
Like, I think 10 years ago, it was shocking. It was like, oh my God, like people, like the technology aspect was a lot more in your face. And I
Yeah.
remember being like, all my question and my opinion was about the technology aspect.
Yeah.
But now that like this is not really futuristic anymore, I guess all of this is possible now. That to me, like it just feel like, oh, this is just a beautiful love story. There's at one point, I actually wrote this in my review. I'm just going to go check it out. She says to him that there's a feeling that this, like basically she's living the story of their love, but the spaces between each word of their story, it feels like infinity. And for her, being a computer, this is, you can read that in a totally different way. But I feel like if you just boil this down to, this is a love story.
Yeah.
When you're with someone, but you're not in love anymore, or like you're not really connecting anymore with the other person.
Yeah.
And also you're not showing yourself. And this is one of the things. This movie, they stop being in love when you start to hide things from her, and vice versa. And then this is where there's two versions of them. There's the version that they truly are and the person they are showing up. This idea that each word is a true connection, that they become further and further away from each other because they're not being real with each other.
Yeah.
This is, to me, like, this is it. Like, this is a very true feeling of like losing contact with someone. Even though you see them every day, you're not connecting. So it feels like infinity between each words of your story.
Very, very, very interesting.
I forgot how beautiful and gorgeous and amazing this film was. So for me, it's the biggest save, and it's a 4.5 out of 5.
Wow. I would save it too, and I would give it a 4. I wish I could rewatch it in 2013 because remember, like at that time, 10 years ago, AI wasn't something we really discussed about. So it was really avant-garde.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, we recommend it.
What are you doing?
Please
go
do.
watch it. Awesome.
Next up, oh gosh,
The Tragedy of Macbeth.
by Joel
Cohen brother.
Joel Cohen.
A24 film. This is a passion project of him that he wanted to do for a long time, and nobody wanted to give him money to do it. And A24 said, "Okay, we'll give you money to do it."
They're so cool.
And it was
with Frances McDormand and also
Denzel
he played
Washington.
in Hurricane. Yeah, I really like him, and it's been a while since we saw him.
Yeah, I don't know what he's been doing. He did like the Equalizer film, whatever.
Yeah.
It was all filmed in a soundstage, so all built. And it's obviously an adaptation of a play.
Yeah.
But they wanted to make it feel like it's still a play.
Yeah.
They filmed the play, but like really beautiful.
To me, that was a 10 out of 10
visually.
So the shadow play made me feel like there was depth when there was none. Made me feel like it was amazing. So well shot. Brilliant.
Think the big thing is the language, right?
Oh gosh, yes.
It's word for word the play, right? And it's being told in a very classical way. That's the thing, right? Like it's hard to really understand what they're saying, even though they're speaking English.
I'd have to rewatch it so many times, but even then, it's just such a different language. And sometimes instead of saying one word, it's 3 sentences.
It's kind of like The Lighthouse also used very old English, but I feel like it's a little bit easier. Yeah, I agree.
Easier, yeah.
Even though the accents were harder to understand, I feel like overall it was easier.
But maybe there was less dialogue as well. I can't
maybe.
remember. It's been a while since we saw it.
I feel like the last 30 minutes, because it's a quite short film, were a little bit better. And I think that once you watch it once, it's probably going in again. It's a very basic story.
Once you know the story, exactly. Yeah,
it's
he's
not
just
a complicated
trying to
story.
be the king.
It's just like there's a lot of theatrical in the language.
Yeah.
But it's one of the big part of why it's interesting.
I love the witch in that movie.
The witch was so weird. I love that too.
Me too,
And the crows.
Yeah.
The crows was really cool. And it was simple but very detailed at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. I would save it because it is something to do a movie like that.
Yeah.
Actors were great. It was beautiful. I would save it. I would give it a 3 out of 5. I don't think I would rewatch this movie often, but I'm glad I saw it, and I can really recognize the talent it takes to tell such a story.
Agree. 3.5 out of 5 for me. And I want to see. It's weird. I want to rewatch it as soon as possible because I feel like there's so much in there. And the sound design.
Amazing.
Was haunting.
Yeah.
Beautiful, simple.
Yeah.
Like everything. Simple, but there's so much in there at the same time. And like I actually never read Macbeth or like seen any play. So for me, like the story is like a story you've seen a million times, but like it's great. And I don't know, like I really loved the visual. Like I think
I can't believe they did so much
with so little.
Stunning.
But
I really can understand if someone would watch this and would be like, what the fuck is this? I understand if like someone would hate it, I would get it.
I wish I would have seen this in theater because they did release it in theater and I would be like, oh man.
I agree.
The experience.
Yeah.
But at the same time, no subtitle.
Yeah, that would be hard. Next movie.
Okay, next one. This is going to be a quickie.
Oh, I didn't see this one.
Goodbye Dragon Inn. A 2003 release. The director...
2003?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was this year.
No, 2003. And this is director Tsai Ming Liang. I heard of her before, and this is the film that everybody recommended to me, so I checked it out. There's only 4 lines of dialogue in the entire film, or something like that.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, remember you were in the other room and you were asking me, what are you watching?
I was like, put the sound. He's like, it's a mute movie.
There's only 4. So it's about a theater in Taipei that is closing, and basically it's the last night, and they're playing the movie something Dragon Gate or something, which is what the movie theater name come from. And basically you're just watching people watch the film. It's a very rainy night. It's beautiful. Like the shots and the visual are amazing. It's very quiet. Obviously, you have the dialogue of the film playing, but you don't have anybody talking because people are just in the theater watching the film. But there's a bunch of things unfolding, some of the employee cleaning up and stuff like this. And you just kind of follow them. First line of dialogue. It's 45 minutes in. And one of the guys said, this theater is haunted. And then there's no dialogue until the end. And at the end, there's just two people talking and say nobody care about movies anymore. Nobody will ever see us in movies anymore, because some of the guys that went to see the movie are actors that played in the movie.
Okay.
And the other people are just regulars that just love that theater and wanted to support it one last time. Like basically, it's interesting to start asking, are the people actually there, or this is like a kind of look at the memories that were made in that theater over time? And did
you love it?
I really liked it. It's super quiet. It's super
must be very different.
You kind of like you have to like be like focused and not focused, but like you kind of boom, you in and you just let yourself kind of vibe with the visual and the music. Did you feel
like? Remember, I think was it Andy Warhol who made like a 10-hour movie filming from like security cameras on a building? Did you feel that way, or
no, that's just too much. That's like beautifully shot.
Okay.
And there's a narrative, like people are doing things and you following them, and
because you can watch the movie on the screen, right?
But it's not a focus. It's just always playing in the background.
Okay.
But sometimes you follow the employee in the back rooms, and sometimes the guy go out for a cigarette and stuff like this. So you follow people around.
It must not be for everyone, though.
Yeah, I think you have to be.
Would I be bored?
You need to be able to appreciate just nice shot, because some shot is just the camera's there.
Yeah.
It's not moving for 10 minutes, and you just see someone doing something, but it's beautifully done.
Okay.
I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Check it out. It's a save for me, but it's definitely not for everyone. All right. Dan, my best friend, will now review a movie for us. We have no idea what he's going to talk about. I'm convinced he just hit random on Netflix and watch whatever shows up. I'm telling you.
This week's episode, Pretty Woman.
Oh.
Came out in 1990 with Richard Gere, Julia Roberts, and George Costanza, a.k.a. Jason Alexander. Julia Roberts is a sex worker, and she meets with Richard Gere, who's a billionaire businessman. It's their relationship over the span of 1 week in a hotel where she is wined and dined and a number that's before 70. Yeah, this movie's great. It's the first time I've seen it. There's a lot of interesting parts that are very, very rememberable, very quotable as well. The one that is the biggest and most famous is Julia Roberts goes into a store. She doesn't get served on because the way she dresses. She comes back a couple days later, dressed to the nines, and essentially says, "You work on commission, right?" Big mistake, huge mistake. I'm going shopping now, which is interesting. It's so interesting, even though it's the 90s and this is Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles, that people are so judgy of what you wear, thinking that if you wear something a bit more casual and not a suit, that you're instantly a poor who cannot afford things. Whereas now, in the 2020s, you can dress up as a robot who's going to the disco, and you can be worth so much more money than this casual man who's just in a suit. There's a scene where Julia Roberts says, you could tell anyone to do something and they do it for you. Richard Gere doesn't say a thing. He de-blouses Julia Roberts on a piano. It's 3 a.m. in a hotel that I assume people are still up at 3 a.m. and they bone on a piano, which is probably the loudest instrument that you could bone on in in a public hotel. It's just beyond me. All in all, it's a great movie. It's interesting to see the ebbs and flows of Julia Roberts almost blossoming into a butterfly of a sophisticated woman. Great movie, 7.5 out of 10.
Okay, I actually never seen Pretty Woman. No,
Oh.
have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know it's a classic, but it's
Oh,
one of those
yes.
films that just never got to it. Is it good?
It's good.
You like it?
I'd have to rewatch it.
Yeah?
It's been a while because it's 1990.
I wasn't born, so.
Silly. We should rewatch it
I'm
and
down.
talk about it. Yeah.
I'm down because
Because
I've never seen it.
I don't know if I would still like it.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm down. I never seen it. The only thing I know is literally what you just said. All right.
Okay.
We don't have a spotlight film this week because we had so many movies,
Yeah.
but we have two films.
Yes,
American
yes.
Fiction being one of them. The other one that we want to talk about because it's a big movie that also have potential Oscar chances is
The Iron Claw.
The Iron Claw.
With Zac Efron.
Yes, Sean Durkin, 2023, A24 film again.
Yep.
They stay winning. All right, I'm gonna
Where
let
to
you go
start?
first because
Yeah. Well, I really liked that movie. I didn't know the story was
me neither.
a real story. It's about the Von Herrick brothers.
Yeah. You're
Who
good.
were very I read on,
Oh, okay, I didn't
on
remember
your
the name.
screen. Who I think there were 4 brothers
Yeah.
and the dad, and famous in wrestling in the 80s. So it's their story, and I didn't
Yeah.
know about it.
There was actually 5 brothers, but they just
Right.
removed one
right.
of them. No. Like
Oh, I thought it was
there's
the,
one brother that is not even in the film.
Oh, okay.
He died as well, apparently.
So it's a tragic.
It's very tragic.
Very tragic story. The father in
Yeah.
that movie is such an asshole.
Yeah.
I hate him for everything he did to his sons. Like, and it's questioning like what it takes to be great. Kind
Yeah.
of, you know, the movie with
Whiplash.
the drummer. Yeah, kind of that.
Yeah.
To where can you go to be great?
But
And
I think Whiplash, the teacher, there's an argument that the teacher win
yeah.
because there's method
Yeah,
to
yeah.
is like pushing the limit. Where I think
Yeah.
that the dad here is just
And
it's so hungry for
yeah,
greatness.
and it's a true story. So, but clearly he has a negative impact on all his sons, even his wife.
He's he wanted to become the world champion of wrestling, and
Yeah.
he never was able to do it.
So now he's projecting on his own
Yeah,
sons,
he's pushing their son,
pushing them to the limit.
But and also there's curse apparently that like a lot of bad things happen to their family.
Yeah,
And Zac Efron play like one of the brother we follow, and he's very worried about this curse, and he's
Yeah.
very scared. That's because he lost one brothers, and then throughout the movie he lose a lot of other people, and that's just very scary for him. And you can tell that for him, his true dream is just to be happy, live with his brothers and his family on a farm or on a ranch or something.
yeah,
That's his true dream, but his father is pushing
Pushing so
everyone to
hard.
go into wrestling.
yeah. Can we talk about his performance?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I have never seen him like this. And he's so good, so talented, so touching. His physical shape as well, his
Yeah.
transformation is incredible, stunning. He must have worked out for like a year to be this way.
It's crazy that like both physically and just his actual like psychological emotion performance,
Yep.
like both very demanding, and he deliver on both.
I agree.
36 days of shooting only.
Wow, that's crazy.
So like it's also like he didn't have a lot of time. Like obviously he had time to prepare, but he didn't have a lot of time to like, reset and like, between scenes. Like they were probably shooting like quite
Yep.
fast.
Yeah, he's amazing. And I hope he gets a nomination for his performance.
Yeah, I doubt it's gonna
I
happen,
doubt
yeah.
it too. But I just want to tell you and people that are listening that to me, he deserves.
He's great.
He's great. He's amazing. I really, really like that movie. I know that you have your issues with it.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
my issues.
Yes.
And we can finish on a good note. I really think that there's pacing issues. I feel like first of all, we follow Zac Efron most of the time, and he's definitely the most interesting of the brothers. At least that's how the movie depict, the family. But I personally think that for the amount of big moments, big emotional moment that you would expect would punch really hard, you don't spend a lot of time with the other brothers until it's convenient, right? As soon as you start kind of spending a bit more time with one of the brothers,
something tragic
happened right after.
Yeah.
And you can, it's like, okay, like I wish I knew a little bit more about them before something bad happened. That way I would actually care. One of the brother, like you barely spend any time with them. And then there's a big scene in the bathroom of a wedding.
Yeah.
And like they get really close and you get to really know him and kind of go under the layer of like, I'm a big guy that like wrestle. And
that scene was better than others, that brother who loses a leg. To me, that was like, oh, okay, like it just happens so fast. But at the same time, it's a true story. Maybe the movie should have cut other places to spend more time with the brothers, because it spent a lot of time on the father as well, and how the brothers cope with the father always changing who his favorite is. I really like the movie, but I agree with you that there are some pacing issues, and it's true that maybe could have spent more time with the brothers. Visually, it's beautiful as well.
And also the boat sequence. So at some point, there's a sequence that is happening in non-reality. And to me, when you spend so much time in the nitty-gritty of like real life and real emotion and really being there with them in the real world, and it's a true story, so it's like you don't need to go anywhere else.
After that scene, that specific scene, the final scene,
that's good.
Very, very good. Almost cried.
Me
Zac
too.
Efron with his two boys and what they what the boys tell him, and that was really, really good. So I would save it, and I would give it a 3.5.
I'm gonna save it as well. I think it's a good film. Watch it just for Zac Efron. I feel like he's entering his Robert Pattinson era, where he's about to like just do amazing movie after a bunch of average stuff.
Were you gonna say something?
And it's a 3 out of 5 for me. Check it out. I'm sure it's gonna hit. Actually, I read that A24 signed a deal with HBO.
Okay.
So
TV
all the film that A24 do will go straight to HBO.
Okay.
Which is Crave in Canada.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So every A24 film will be there exclusively. Once they're done their cinema run, they will go streaming on HBO Max and Crave. So I assume it will be there eventually.
Last
and
movie.
Now, American Fiction by Cord Jefferson.
Yep. Cord Jefferson.
Cord. Its first film.
Okay.
Big sigh.
I don't love comedy. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. You don't like comedy that much.
I mean, I like comedy, but a certain type, and it's really precise.
What is it? Describe it.
I like absurd. Like the Big Lebowski kind of thing. I like Seinfeld. Anyways, so it's supposed to be a comic.
It's a comedy.
Yeah, it's a comedy.
It's funny.
But it's an important story. So it's about a black writer who
is having difficulty selling his book.
Yeah.
Because it seems like most publishing house want kind of book about the black experience.
They say a black book, a black story.
And he's like, well, I'm a black writer and this is my book, so you have a black book. He said, no, they want the black experience.
So anyways, something happens that we won't spoil.
Yeah.
Like my expectations weren't really high.
Really?
Not
Mine
really.
were high.
No, not me.
Because it's getting nominated for everything.
I don't understand. I'm sorry. It was okay. It was cheesy. I didn't love the love story. It was long. It was a bit long, yeah. It was trying really hard.
It's not even 2 hours. You know what?
It felt like 3.
Whoa. Wait. Let's bounce this back. Okay, wait. So here's the thing. When you watch a trailer, it seems like it's going to be about him.
Everything is in the trailer, by the way.
Well, for me, it feels like when you see the trailer, it's all about he's a writer. He wants to write a book. They don't want his book. One day he gets drunk and he writes a book as a joke, and then everybody love it. And that's the best part of the film to me. That's the funniest part. That's the part that, like, for me had the biggest laugh. But this is less than 50% of the film. The whole book story is only like maybe 30-40%, and everything else is kind of family drama and like what's going on with his personal life, with his family, his brothers, his sister, his mom, his dad, and like his love life as well. And it's good, but it's really like lesser than the book stuff.
But at the same time, you know what? Now that you mention this, I'm kind of thinking, and like, tell me if you feel the same way. You know, he has a conversation with another author who wrote a book about Black people.
Yeah.
And he tells her, aren't you tired of always representing Black people in the same way, like rappers and ghetto and nah. The story of his life is what we see. So his mom who has Alzheimer's, his brother who is homosexual and never came out to his dad. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of trying to say, here's the story of a Black man.
Like, not your stereotype
like,
one.
That's his story. But if he would have wrote that story, he would have never sold a book.
So in terms of, I guess, this is getting very meta.
No,
layers.
But do you know what I mean?
I do, but like to me,
like, okay.
Anyway, I don't know if the film is trying to make the same point that he's trying to make within the film.
I think.
But
if it's that, then it's really interesting. Actually,
you're probably right because of the ending. Because the ending basically like explore different way that the film could end, and it
still goes to
it goes in a way that I think you would expect, something that would sell.
And the director,
he's good.
He's so good.
He's really good.
He's
the producer,
typical. Yeah. So if that's, you know, if when you think it that way, then I'm like, okay.
So that's interesting. More interesting, but I still think that the book stuff is the best part of the film. It's the funniest.
But at the same time, they needed to tell his story, you know?
They don't
at the
need
same
to,
time.
though.
Well,
because he's still a well-off, educated Black man.
Yeah.
So the book storyline within the screenplay is still showing the two side of like the normal person that he is and the person that people want him to be, or that the entertainment industry want him to be. So for me, like, you could make the similar statement within only, and the only reason why I'm saying that is that I really believe that the strength of this film is in that storyline. The rest is interesting, but it's kind of typical. It's kind of almost cliche a
but
bit.
At the same time, it's it's interesting because at the same time, it's his life. Like he falls in love. His mom has Alzheimer's. His brother. Like, it's just telling you that he is going through the same things as any human. You know what I mean? It's kind of trying to make a statement where...
But everything related to the book make that statement. Because you write this book that is like cliche, like what the entertainment industry want. Yeah. And then he's fighting the entire time to like point out how dumb it is.
I know.
So like, to me, just this it already contrasts this reality versus what the entertainment want to see.
Yeah.
So I it's not a bad choice. And I think your theory is, and I think your theory is maybe better than it makes the film better.
Yeah, I agree.
But I still think that when you take a step back as a director or whoever wrote the screenplay, you still want to make the best film you can.
Yeah, but there had to be like some kind of story, you know?
Yeah, because but I think there was enough. The screenplay stuff, I think, was enough. Like the book stuff, sorry. The film aspect of it, like that for me felt like absurd. It felt like comedy. Like it was really well. The thing I didn't like about it was when there's this meta moment where he's writing, and as he's writing the book,
oh yeah, me too.
There's the actor characters playing off, and talking to him you really want me to say that? Yeah,
that I didn't like.
Yeah, like,
neither.
And it feels weird because it only happened once. But to me, this whole thing was the best part, and I wish it was more. I feel like even the trailer knew it was the best part because the trailer only paid attention to that storyline. Everything else, all the family drama, not even a touch in the trailer.
I didn't mind the family drama, some parts of it. Like, there was a good moment when he finds his brother swimming in the pool, and then he meets for the first time his girlfriend. I had a good laugh. Overall, I think with my theory now, I kind of like it more.
Really?
Yeah, and it's an interesting opinion about choices that are made in the industry. It was a little bit long. I really enjoyed the ending. I like my theory.
The ending was hard. The ending for me
I know.
while it was happening, I was like, I hate this.
Me too. I was rolling my eyes.
But at the end,
Yeah,
I was
me
like,
too.
okay,
I was
this
like, okay.
was not bad.
Yeah, me too.
But I wish we didn't. Anyway, the way that it unfolded was not great.
I agree.
But the result was good.
Yeah. I would give it a 3.5.
Okay.
I think I have to burn it.
Woo! So to me, it's a 3 or a 3.5. Right now, I have it as a 3.5, but I think it could go down to a 3.
Yeah.
And it's really tough. I get it why it's nominated. I don't
Me too.
get why Jeffrey Wright, the main actor,
Me neither.
is getting Best Actor.
No.
Buzz, he's expected to be nominated.
He was good, but
He was good.
Cillian Murphy,
Zac
Oppenheimer.
Efron was better.
Come on, totally.
Zac Efron was better than
Yeah.
that. I think it was
Oh,
more.
yeah.
It was more interesting. I think overall his acting was fine. It was good,
I agree.
but there's some like dramatic, like emotional moment,
Yeah.
and it was not nuanced that well. Like it was good, but it was not amazing.
I agree with you.
I didn't
Totally.
even get close to like have like
Me neither.
like a burst of like emotion.
Me neither.
I-
I think the only moment where I got a little bit emotional and it rapidly stopped is when the brother is dancing with his mom.
yeah,
That was pretty to me, but yeah.
but it ends in a joke very quick. Same thing with the beach scene, which ends with like
Yeah.
a joke very quick.
Yeah.
So I feel like they want to go into that emotional like kind of zone, but like
since
then they
it's
have to pull it
since
back
it's a
a bit.
comedy, yeah. But I'm with you. I really don't understand why he would get nominated for Best Actor. Like,
It's a tough save or burn. I think it's one of the toughest one.
Yeah, I agree with you. American Fiction. Are you burning it or saving it?
I'm gonna burn it.
Bye.
I cannot recommend this in good conscience. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not a bad film if you
No.
want to watch it. I think most people would enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if people would love it.
I'm so surprised that it's been nominated for Best Movie. I can't believe it.
But best movie, because there's 10 slot, it's a little bit less competitive, right?
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
It's not going to win for sure.
No. I think it's Oppenheimer
Yeah,
or Porting.
I agree.
Maybe
Maybe.
the oldovers have a shot.
Zone
but
of Interest.
Zone of Interest, I think,
Not going to
would
win.
have a
but-
chance at best foreign movie.
Yeah. When are the Oscars?
March 10th?
Okay.
Yeah.
Our next episode
Our
will be
Yeah, or
on our
picks
Oscar
and
prediction.
Picked and prediction. So who we want to win and who we think is going to win.
That's gonna be fun.
Thank you everyone for joining
Thanks
us
for
for this
watching.
episode.
Thanks for listening. It's a pleasure to be with you guys.
Subscribe, like, follow us everywhere, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We have a lot of great things coming. Yes, the Oscar, but also Dune is
Oh
coming
my
soon.
God, yeah.
March 1st.
Yeah.
So we're going to rewatch the first Dune, we're going to watch the second Dune, and we're going to watch Dune 1989, the David Lynch film.
Gosh.
So that's going to be a good time. So subscribe,
Have a
follow us.
great week, you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.